What if the silent dead rock we see in the sky every night is trying to send us a message? NASA's live feed from the moon captured something that defied all logical explanation, an anomaly so strange that it prompted theoretical physicist Michio Kaku to issue a chilling warning. This wasn't a glitch or a cosmic ray, it was a pattern, a signal from a world we thought we knew. This event connects decades of classified data, astronaut testimony, and terrifying new discoveries. Let's explore this together. Historical context: Apollo's ringing bell. Here's where the story gets strange, and it starts with a sound that should have been impossible. Back on November 20th, 1969, the Apollo 12 crew intentionally crashed their lunar module ascent stage Intrepid back onto the moon. The 2.5-ton vehicle hit the surface at over 3,700 miles per hour, an impact equivalent to about 1 ton of TNT. Dr. Gary Latham, the lead investigator for the Apollo passive seismic experiment, was waiting for the data. On Earth, a similar impact would create a tremor lasting a few minutes. Instead, Latham and his team watched in disbelief as the moon vibrated, resonated, and rang like a colossal gong for 55 minutes. The seismic waves traveled through the entire lunar body, something that baffled geologists. Latham himself said the data was so strange, they had to recheck their instruments. This single experiment shattered the idea of the moon as a simple solid rock. It suggested something was fundamentally different about its internal structure, perhaps vast hollow spaces or a fractured dry core that allowed vibrations to propagate without dampening. That ringing sound was the first hard data point showing the moon held deep, resonant secrets. AI surveillance systems. Now let's talk about who, or what, is watching the moon right now. It's not just humans. Most people don't know this, but NASA employs sophisticated AI systems to monitor the constant stream of lunar data, especially from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, or LRO, which has sent back petabytes of information. These aren't just automated cameras, they are complex neural networks. A team led by Dr. Valentin T. Bickel used AI to scan over 100,000 LRO images to identify potential cave entrances or skylights, a task that would take a human researcher years. These AI systems scan millions of frames, hunting for outliers and flagging anomalies based on hundreds of parameters like unexpected brightness shifts, non-ballistic motion, or geometric patterns that violate known physics. Unlike a human who can get tired or blink, these systems never stop. When an anomaly triggers multiple detection algorithms at once, that's when scientists get an alert. The anomaly that triggered Kaku's warning was first flagged by one of these non-human observers, classifying it as something that defied standard explanation. The moon is alive. Forget the image of the moon as a dead, static world. It's not. It's groaning, shrinking, and breaking apart, and we have the data to prove it. In 2023, India's Chandrayaan-3 mission deployed its seismometer, ILSA, near the South Pole. S. Somanath, the chairman of the Indian Space Research Organization, announced that in just 11 days, it detected around 250 seismic events. While many were linked to the rover's movements, dozens had no clear explanation. They were genuine moonquakes. This confirms what a team led by NASA planetary scientist Dr. Thomas Waters has been warning about for years. Using data from the LRO, his team has mapped thousands of fault scarps, which are cliff-like features that form as the moon's interior slowly cools and shrinks, causing the crust to fracture. Some of these scarps are over 100 meters high and can run for dozens of kilometers. They are geologically young, meaning the moon is actively shrinking and breaking right now. This creates shallow, potent quakes, some estimated to be as strong as a 5 on the Richter scale, concentrated right where NASA plans to build the Artemis base camp. Underground mysteries. What lies beneath the lunar surface might be even more unsettling than what's happening on it. Think about this. There are enormous hollow caverns stretching for miles under the moon's crust, and we've seen the entrances. These are not theories. NASA's Grail mission, led by principal investigator Dr. Maria Zuber, mapped the moon's gravity field with unprecedented detail from 2011 to 2012, revealing massive voids and density anomalies. Following that, orbiters like the LRO and Japan's Selene spacecraft, also known as Kaguya, photographed skylights, which are collapsed holes in the ceilings of these caves. Dr. Junichi Haruyama, a researcher with Japan's space agency JAXA, was part of the team that used Selene data to identify a lava tube beneath the Marius Hills. that is estimated to be over 50 kilometers or 31 miles long and a full kilometer wide. You could fit a major city inside. While they offer shielding from radiation, the strongest moonquakes are concentrated along the edges of these massive voids. It's as if the moon's internal structure is gradually giving way. The next major collapse could be catastrophic for any future lunar base. The invisible killers. While the ground could collapse beneath our feet, a far deadlier threat is constantly bombarding the lunar surface from above. This danger is completely silent and invisible. The moon has no atmosphere and no global magnetic field to protect it from cosmic radiation. When the sun has a major eruption, like a coronal mass ejection or CME, it hurls billions of tons of charged particles into space at speeds exceeding 2,000 kilometers per second. These particle storms hit the moon with their full, unfiltered power. Dr. Janet Luhmann, a senior fellow at the Space Sciences Laboratory at UC Berkeley, has spent her career studying these events. During a major solar storm, the radiation dose on the lunar surface can spike to over 100 sieverts per hour, a lethal dose for an unprotected astronaut. What's terrifying is how these events can appear on camera feeds. High-energy particles striking a camera's sensor create bright flashes and bizarre interference patterns, a visual signature that matches the recent anomaly. Solar Cycle 25 is proving to be far more active than predicted, with major solar flares happening 37% more often than in the previous cycle. The hidden race for control. While we debate these natural dangers, a more calculated threat is emerging. We are not the only ones with lunar ambitions anymore. The moon has become the focus of a new, high-stakes space race. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson has been very direct about this, stating publicly that the United States is in a space race with China, and that we should be concerned about them claiming lunar territory. NASA's Artemis program aims to land astronauts at the lunar South Pole by 2026 or 2027, but China's Chang'e program has already landed there with robotic missions and plans its own crewed landing by 2030. Both nations are targeting the same resource-rich regions, like the Shackleton crater, which is believed to hold over 500 million metric tons of water ice in its permanently shadowed regions. Whoever controls that water controls the future of deep space exploration. The recent anomaly was spotted in a strategically vital area, and with the U.S. Space Force now responsible for monitoring activity out to 22,000 miles and beyond, the question becomes strategic. Was it a natural event, or was it a piece of undeclared hardware from another nation? Historical patterns, transient lunar phenomena. Here's what's really fascinating. These strange events are not new. For centuries, professional astronomers have documented bizarre flashes and glows on the lunar surface. In 1968, NASA published a technical report, R277, authored by a team that included scientist Winifred S. Cameron. It cataloged 579 of these events, which they officially call transient lunar phenomena, or TLPs. The list, now maintained by the Association of Lunar and Planetary Observers, has grown to over 2,200 documented sightings. These were not just amateur skygazers, these were recorded by figures like Sir William Herschel, the discoverer of Uranus, who in 1787 reported bright red spots on the dark side of the moon. NASA's own analysis revealed these events were not random. They clustered around specific regions, particularly the Aristarchus Plateau. Dr. Arlen Kratz of Columbia University has conducted modern surveys that confirm this clustering, suggesting these events are linked to the outgassing of ancient gases from the lunar interior. The anomaly recently seen on NASA's feed appeared in one of these historical TLP hotspots. Apollo-era secrets. Alright, let's take a trip back to the Apollo missions because, well, the astronauts saw things that were never fully explained to the public. The crew of Apollo 11 described seeing flashes and streaks of light, even with their eyes closed. But, other sightings were external. Apollo 15 Commander David Scott logged a bright flash near the crater Grimaldi that mission control could not explain. Then there was the seismic data. It wasn't just the lunar module. NASA also crashed the 15-ton S-4B booster stages from Apollos 13, 14, 15, and 17 into the moon. Each time, the moon rang for hours, sometimes up to 4 hours. Dr. Yoshio Nakamura of the University of Texas, who analyzed the complete set of Apollo seismic data for decades, concluded that the moon had a surprisingly light, porous, and heavily fractured crust down to a significant depth. The seismic waves moved as if they were passing through a material unlike anything on Earth. And get this, declassified documents also revealed that Cold War reconnaissance platforms, like the Vela satellites designed to detect nuclear tests, also captured brief, intense flashes from the moon that didn't correspond to any known meteorite impacts. Why it matters to you. So why should you care about a strange flash on the moon? Because it's not just about the moon, it's about our future. NASA's Artemis program isn't some distant sci-fi fantasy. The budget is over $93 billion through 2025, and the first crewed landing is targeted for the next few years. Howard Hu, the Orion program manager at NASA, has stated that we will be sending people to live on the moon for extended periods. The technologies being developed for lunar habitats will determine how we survive on Mars and beyond. If our fundamental understanding of the moon's stability is wrong, it's like building a city on an active fault line. The resources we are racing to secure, like the water ice, are intended to fuel the next generation of deep space missions. The challenges of surviving on the moon will drive innovations here at home, from radiation-proof materials that could revolutionize cancer treatment to new forms of energy production. When scientists like Michio Kaku express concern, they're not just protecting astronauts, they're protecting the massive global investment in humanity becoming a spacefaring civilization. The terrifying reality. Let's put all the pieces together. The evidence, collected over 50 years, paints a disturbing picture. Apollo-era experiments from scientists like Gary Latham prove the moon has bizarre resonant properties. Modern seismometers confirm it's geologically active, with moonquakes up to magnitude 5 concentrated exactly where we plan to build. Planetary scientists like Thomas Waters have shown us the fault lines. We know from researchers like Junichi Haruyama that there are massive hollow lava tubes beneath the surface. Meanwhile, space weather experts like Janet Luhmann warn that the sun is entering a violent period, bombarding the moon with lethal radiation. On top of all this, as NASA Administrator Bill Nelson states, the moon is a contested territory in a new geopolitical space race. Each of these facts alone is a serious challenge. Together, they suggest the moon is a far more dangerous and unpredictable frontier than we have been led to believe. The anomaly on the live feed was the trigger that connects decades of unsettling data into one terrifying conclusion. The moon isn't the stable, predictable neighbor we thought we knew. It's an active, dynamic, and potentially treacherous world. The patterns of anomalies, stretching from historical observations by astronomers like William Herschel to modern AI detections, tell a consistent story. The moon holds secrets we are only just beginning to comprehend. The warning issued in the wake of this latest event isn't about aliens or conspiracies. It's about the harsh realities of physics, geology, and cosmic radiation that we may have underestimated for far too long. As we prepare to send humans back, we must proceed with caution, listening carefully to what the moon has been trying to tell us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching Sci and Why.